brightest day,
and in blackest night.
no evil shall escape my sight.
Let those who worship evil's might
Beware my power.
Green Lantern's light. Hey, well, not yet. Welcome to another episode of The Nerd and the Geek. 6! Oh my goodness!
I can't even count that high in Mexican.
Siete.
What?
It's alright.
Alright.
Anyway.
So, what are we talking about today?
The big GL. Green Lantern.
Green Lantern.
Because of the movie.
Movie's coming out.
Yeah.
You might have no idea what this Green Lantern thing is.
But you're in luck.
We're here.
We know what's going on.
We have a small understanding of these people.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you're not going to get any crazy knowledge today. We're just going to give you the basics, what you need to know.
What you should know.
What you should know. What
Yeah.
you need to know to understand this movie a little better.
Mm-hmm.
To appreciate it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you're not just one of those people that just go and shove popcorn
Yeah.
in your face. Like we did a couple nights ago we saw Fast 5.
Yeah. Rock versus Vin Diesel.
Alright, so the best. You know I like my dessert first.
I do.
Decided
Decided to do something a little different this time around. Got on the Facebook and asked, hey, what do you want to know about the Green Lantern? And actually got some responses.
Got some responses. Thank you to anyone that took time out to ask a question.
Mm-hmm.
First one's a
Appreciate
doozy.
Mm-hmm.
It's for you.
Okay.
From Christina Barber.
Okay.
She asks, what is a Green Lantern?
Well, to put it in layman's terms, the Green Lantern is a space cop.
Space cop.
Space cop.
Basically, there's these blue things,
Guardians.
Guardians. They live on this planet called Oa.
And a long time ago, they decided to try and enforce the galaxy.
Yeah, justice.
Yes.
Bring justice to the galaxy.
Mm-hmm. And they needed a task force.
Yes. And who do they make?
They made the Green Lanterns. Well, they made some other guys first, but we don't need to get into them.
Manhunters.
But so their cops needed weapons, and so they created what's arguably the most powerful weapon in the DC universe, the Power Ring.
Basically what it does is it takes the willpower of the individual that wears the ring.
And that person can create constructs.
Yeah, with your willpower.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, if you're in a fight and you're very invested in the fight and you have the will to win that fight, you could think of something very familiar to you. Like, say you're a baseball player, you think of a baseball bat.
Big old bat.
Makes you a big old bat.
Mm-hmm.
You smack someone in the face with it.
Mm-hmm. It also works the other way, though. If you're just not into this fight, people can break your constructs.
Yeah.
The ring also allows you to be able to fly and breathe. And
It kind of works like
translates
a
for
little
you.
computer.
Yeah, it's a little computer. It's like a little buddy for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically, we see different incarnations through different Green Lanterns. The most famous, the one you're going to be seeing in the movie, the big daddy of them all, is Hal Jordan.
Played by Mr. Ryan Reynolds himself.
Got the beefy body.
Let's go
Okay.
fight some crimes.
So he's a pilot, which is pretty important.
Story.
What we'll see later is we'll talk to you more about stuff. His main fear is he saw his daddy die crashing a plane.
Yeah.
But he's a pilot. A lot of times you'll see him even make a plane to fly, even though the ring could just make you fly on your own, stuff like that.
It's true.
We got some other important players that we probably won't see in the movie. The second most important, not one of my favorites.
Green Lantern.
Yeah, we got Kyle.
Kyle Rayner, who's my favorite Green Lantern. He's a graphic designer, and he kind of takes the reins when Hal
is dead.
Hal kind of passes on for a little while. But like most comic book characters, Hal didn't stay dead for very long.
Nope.
So yeah.
We got two other ones. The one you've probably seen in most animated series is
Jon Stewart.
Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
You see him in the Justice League.
Yeah.
All that good stuff. And then
Architect and
military
and guy.
ex-military. You see him build stuff that's very intricate that looks like it could work in the real world, as well as his famous
sniper rifle.
See him blowing Yellow Lanterns' heads off, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Next, we see the hothead himself.
Guy Gardner.
He's basically a big jackass.
Making constructs of women to taunt other boys.
Yeah, like he was
Stuff
just
like
the
that.
young son that didn't get enough love, and he played football and got hurt. Blah 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 blah.
Given a
No
power
one
ring.
really likes him.
Yeah. He's definitely my least favorite of the human Green Lanterns.
Yeah. You've also got a big beastly guy that you see named Kilowog. He's
Michael Clark Duncan.
voiced by Michael Clark Duncan. He's basically the trainer of all Green Lanterns. If you get a ring, you're just a guy. You get shipped to Oa. This big beast monster starts punching you in the face.
Oh, he doesn't punch. Not right off the bat.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah, okay, fine. He trained you up, though.
He's like that tough dad. It's hard to earn his love, but you will.
Yeah. He's just a big softie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you want to talk about one of the blue guys.
One of the blue guys? Oh, a
Yeah.
Guardian?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ganthet will be in the new movie, and he's kind of he's got a soft spot for Hal, because a lot of people don't feel like humans are trustworthy with Green Lantern rings, because, you know, we're killing each other and we're greedy, and we don't just have one emotion. The Guardians are emotionless, which is very important to their kind of character, but humans have several emotions all going at once, so that could corrupt a ring.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what we have next is another question, which leads us right into, asked by Justin Ross. Incorrect. That's not the next question I want. We want one from Christian, which basically says, I am under the impression that Sinestro is a bad guy. Why is he portrayed as a Green Lantern member in the new movie?
Well, originally Sinestro was a Green Lantern, considered to be the greatest Green Lantern before Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
So, I guess the best way to put it is, Sinestro was really, really, really good at his job, but it didn't matter the means as long as the end came out. And, like, he got the job done, basically, but he was willing to go by any methods.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which you don't have cops going around shooting whoever, just shooting whoever.
If you shoot everyone to get what you want, your boss is gonna have a stern talking to with you, probably kick you off.
And that's basically what happens.
So kind of before we jump into what happens with him, I am going to go to the question asked by Justin Ross, which is never understood the yellow weakness thing.
Well, that's kind of like a hokey little golden age thing where originally the color green was weak against the color yellow.
It just didn't work. It just
The
was
ring-
built into the ring.
Yeah, it wouldn't work.
You get funny little things where
People-
there's mustard on people.
And
It
people
will work.
covering themselves in construction paper, and the ring wouldn't be able to work.
Just punching a Green Lantern.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And so that kind of like transitions though into now times, and Sinestro is able to find the yellow element, which is powered by fear.
Yeah.
And which is right up his alley, because if the more fear he's able to instill in people, the more his ring works.
Exactly. And the crazy thing is, you get this very scary thing called fear.
Parallax.
Well, yeah, that's something we'll talk. But you get this thing, fear, and it seems like such an evil thing, but Sinestro still is using it with the same
Code.
code as the Green Lanterns to himself. Some of the people will see later, maybe not so much, but he very much still wants to bring justice, but he just sees fear as the only way to do so, much like Batman.
Kind of like Batman, but more hardcore, like Rorschach, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been compared to Hitler or Stalin. He is drawn very similar to them, just ruling by fear and an iron hand. And so, like, that's what makes him such a neat character, though. It's just that, like, he's not all bad.
Yeah.
He
just knows how to work his...
He's just good at being a cop.
Exactly.
Real good at being a cop, and he feels like that's the best way of doing things.
So what that brings us into is the most important Green Lantern book, and I'd say
Of recent times. Of this Green Lantern, yeah.
If you want to read Green Lantern, if you want to read comics, this is one that got me back into it a few years ago. It's Green Lantern Rebirth. Basically, there's Jeff Johns and Ethan Van Sciver, which he does the art.
Jeff writes it. It's
They
awesome.
bring Green Lantern back to its glory. You have a dead Hal Jordan. He brings him back because Parallax, which in the movie is that big cloud that you see running around, he is the embodiment of fear. He is the entity of fear. All like Green Lanterns has a whale.
It's called Ion.
Ion.
Yeah, it's the embodiment of will.
Embodiment of will.
Each emotion has a different
Exactly.
entity.
But this one, Parallax has found fear in Hal Jordan, the greatest human Green Lantern, and he puts it into Hal.
Or he goes into hell and becomes Parallax himself.
Exactly.
Does a bunch of bad stuff and gets himself killed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rebirth picks up. Hal's dead.
Hal's dead. So what we see is, if you want the basic story arc, it's Hal Jordan finding it within himself a way to overcome fear. And we sit kind of opposite. I think that Hal is one of the only, if not the only Green Lantern with the ability to overcome fear. And that's what ultimately, at the end of the book, you see him team up with all the human Green Lanterns, and Hal gives them this ability to overcome fear.
Because even though you are a Green Lantern, it doesn't mean that you're fearless.
Exactly. You have great willpower. You might not be as scared as much as anyone. And it looks like it's something the movie's going to touch on. Is
I hope so.
That ability to overcome fear versus being fearless. I think we sit together on this, that no one in this universe is fearless.
It's true. They claim, like, that's one big thing. They claim Sinestro is fearless, but no, we've seen fear in Sinestro's eyes.
Yes.